Just remember, if you look in the face of evil, evil's gonna look right back at you.
American Horror Story Asylum isn't just a season, it's a descent into absolute madness. It's disturbing, overwhelming, wildly ambitious, and at times completely unhinged. But beneath the chaos, there's a depth and emotional core that's impossible to ignore. Set in Briarcliff Manor, a 1960s mental institution designed less for healing and more for erasing the inconvenient, Asylum taps into a uniquely visceral kind of horror, one rooted in systems of oppression, religious fanaticism, and unchecked power. This isn't a haunted house story or a slasher flick. This is a psychological gauntlet, and the show doesn't let you look away.
Not a god who would create the things I saw. They weren't human.
The horror in Asylum isn't subtle, and honestly, it doesn't want to be. It bombards you with every twisted idea it can think of. Demonic possession, sadistic nuns, Nazi war criminals disguised as doctors, exorcisms, serial killers, wrongful imprisonment, alien abduction, and even a musical number. It's like the writers asked, what's the worst thing that could happen? And then just kept adding more. It should have collapsed under the weight of its own insanity. And yet, it doesn't. Somehow this absolute fever dream of a season holds together, not despite the chaos, but because of it. It's disorienting and brutal, yes, but also unforgettable. You never really settle into this season. You just survive it.
All monsters are human.
My editor knows I came here to write a story. And boy, do I have a great scoop for him now.
The real glue here, the reason this wild ride doesn't fall apart, is the cast. Jessica Lange gives what might be her most complex performance in the entire franchise as Sister Jude. She starts off as a cruel, sanctimonious authoritarian figure, drunk on her own power and guilt. But as the season progresses, her world unravels, and she's forced to confront the hypocrisy and pain she's inflicted. Her descent from head nun to patient to forgotten soul is one of the darkest, most tragic arcs AHS has ever written. And Lange plays every note with staggering depth. You hate her, then you pity her. Then somehow you end up rooting for her redemption. It's masterful.
You're a murderer! Murderer! Murderer!
Maniac, the killer of those women. Bloody face. Town is in a collective panic. This maniac is decapitating women.
Sarah Paulson as Lana Winters delivers a career-defining performance. What her character goes through is unspeakable. Kidnapping, torture, sexual violence, forced institutionalization. And Paulson never backs away from any of it. Lana starts out as a journalist chasing a story and ends up enduring horrors that should have destroyed her. But instead of breaking, she transforms. She becomes hardened, calculating, even a little cold, but always fiercely in control. She isn't just a final girl, she's a survivor who reclaims her narrative, no matter the cost. Watching her evolution is like watching someone fight tooth and nail to stay human in the face of dehumanization, and it's devastatingly powerful.
Give me 3 minutes with him, and I swear to God, I will write an amazing...
Swear to God, that's rich coming from you.
People want to understand what's in the mind of someone.
There's not a pious bone in your body.
Where's the harm in that?
You're out of your depth, Miss Lana Banana.
Problem is, I don't think you're crazy, but I don't think you're evil.
You think I'm innocent?
And then there's Evan Peters as Kit Walker, the emotional compass of the season. Kit is kind-hearted, sincere, and constantly caught in the worst situations imaginable. He's accused of crimes he didn't commit, subjected to torturous experiments, haunted by loss, and oh yeah, abducted by aliens. But somehow, Peters keeps Kit grounded. There's a gentleness to his performance that stands in stark contrast to the horror around him. Kit is one of the only genuinely good people in this world, and watching him try to hold on to his humanity while everything collapses around him is heartbreaking. He doesn't get the loudest scenes, but he's the heartbeat of the entire season. Now let's talk about the highs and lows, because there are plenty of both. When Asylum hits, it hits hard. The atmosphere is chilling. The cinematography is cold and clinical, drenched in shadows and harsh lighting that makes every scene feel suffocating. The themes of religious guilt, abuse of power, mental illness, and systemic cruelty are all explored with a kind of raw, unfiltered aggression. Some episodes are emotionally devastating, like Sister Jude's breakdown, or Lana confronting her trauma. The horror feels earned. It's not just there to scare, it's there to hurt, to provoke.
It is 1964, for God's sake, an exorcism.
Times may have changed, Doctor, but the nature of evil has not.
But then there's the flip side. The storylines that spiral out of control, or just disappear. The alien subplot is the biggest offender. It's bizarre, barely explained, and totally disconnected from the grounded psychological horror that defines most of the season. It feels like it wandered in from another show entirely. And while the season juggles a ton of important themes, sexual repression, medical ethics, the media, motherhood, it sometimes bites off more than it can chew. Some plotlines burn bright and fizzle out without closure. Others, like the Nazi doctor's arc or Kit's relationship with the aliens, feel like they were building to something that never fully landed.
You're mistaken if you think that by making me an accomplice to this, I won't report what I've seen here.
There's also the issue of tone. Asylum is unrelentingly dark. It doesn't really give you space to breathe. That's part of what makes it powerful, but it also means some viewers might find it exhausting. And while the show wants to be transgressive and shocking, there are moments where it crosses into exploitation. The violence, especially toward women and queer characters, can feel a bit too much and not always in service of the story. Still, with all of that said, Asylum remains one of AH's most iconic seasons. It's horror that takes risks. It's messy, ambitious, and emotionally brutal. It's not about jump scares or gore, though it has plenty of both. It's about psychological disintegration, about how institutions break people, about redemption, guilt, power, and survival. It doesn't always work, and it's definitely not perfect, but it feels like horror with purpose. It stays with you.
You're going under the knife in the morning. You'll need your strength.
If you want horror that plays it safe, this isn't your season. But if you're into horror that challenges you, disturbs you, and dares to go places most shows wouldn't touch with a 10-foot crucifix, Asylum is worth the ride, even if that ride ends with alien babies and electroshock therapy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into horror's most unhinged moments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Did the aliens ruin Asylum for you? Or weirdly make it better? Let's talk about it.